Dear all, welcome to hrtech.sg's demo, our exclusive edition for November 2021, where we will be showcasing the best-in-class features of Dotin. We embarked on the demo hour event series in 2019 to evangelize and promote use of HR technologies. The event provides a platform for HR tech providers to showcase their high-tech solutions to accelerate the adoption of technology by HR teams. The event motto has always been to showcase demonstrations and not presentations. The first event happened in September 2019 at our WeWork facility in Suntech. Now we have moved to an on-demand webinar format. Technology solutions like Dotin can minimize many time-consuming transactional HR tasks and free up bandwidth for HR professionals to do more strategic work to help them be seen as strategic business partners. While many enterprises have already made headway in their digital HR transformation journey and are showing positive business outcomes, there's still a lot to be done in this field. We're happy to showcase the demonstration of Dotin in today's session. Dotin is listed in both hrtech.sg and hrtech.in's marketplace in the talent acquisition category. Essentially, you can source and screen culturally aligned talent in a minute without any questions. That's the specialty of Dotin. The platform provides access to 500 million plus enriched passive candidate global database, and you can screen candidates in near real time through their patented 60-second assessment. And finally, you can also upskill and engage with your existing workforce by understanding their core motivation and align them with the right incentive and upskilling program, leveraging the Dotin's platform. To showcase the Dotin platform's rich features, we have Arun Kumar from Dotin. Over to you, Arun.
Thanks a lot, Sriram, for the brief introduction, and thank you for considering Dotin as a platform with respect to HR tech and giving a brief about what exactly we do. And as you rightly mentioned, yes, it's a platform which enables HR managers, talent acquisition head to precisely identify what kind of talent they are trying to bring within the organization. Because if you are able to kind of provide a solution to that current problem, much of the greater aspect is already closed and done for them. So having said that, I would like to kind of present you a 3-minute slider showcasing or briefing what Dotin is all about. Then, as you mentioned, this is a demo hour. Would be then moving towards the entire demo session of the platform.
Thank you, Arun. Over to you.
Thank you. So I'm sharing my screen. So as mentioned, so what Dotin is all about is it's a talent lifecycle AI platform, enabling organization to reach to broader scope of candidates. That's number one. And then enabling them to kind of screen candidates faster and providing them with richer insights so that a recruiter or a talent acquisition head or a manager or a hiring manager can take informed decision in terms of what set of candidates they're going to onboard for their organization. Double clicking on what exactly we are into. So the platform is purely SaaS-based, AI-powered, and we are purely into talent analytics. And what's core for us, or what's the USP of Dotin is, we understand the core motivation of any human being, align them to the right opportunity in 60 seconds, and that too without asking a single question. So there is no other assessment out into the market, which can primarily do the way we do, and that too at the same time keeping the precision of the screening intact. And the reason why we focus on not asking a single question is when it comes to a recruitment world or a hiring world, as soon as you start asking questions to a talent, they always try to answer looking to an outcome. And the biggest challenge in this entire process is we are inducing biasness from the start of the process itself, because a recruiter, a candidate would always try to pitch in the best side of him or her. And when it comes to a recruiter, they believe that this would be the best possible talent he can find. And as soon as they join the organization, it's altogether a different story. So what we are trying to do from a Dotin's perspective is reduce the biasness to a certain degree. Of course, it is impossible to eliminate, but can be reduced. And that's where the entire effort comes through our patented 60-second assessment. Followed by giving you a background about the organization. So founded in 2014, so we are based on the Valley. I take care of India as a region, and the country was founded by a gentleman called as Ganesh Iyer, who is primarily based out of the Bay Area. So in the core team, so we have a mix of neuroscientists, mathematicians, clinical psychologists who keep on training the model so that the outcomes are precise enough for an organization to take a decision on it. Moving ahead, so this is the talent lifecycle AI platform solutioning which we provide to our customers and prospects. So three broad buckets we have in the offering. Number one comes on the sourcing side of it. Now, when we talk about sourcing, for Dotin, it is purely passive sourcing, and we have access to 500 million passive candidates globally. And adding on to it, the data which we provide are GDPR, CCP, and FERPA compliant data. So if you give me a job title description, I can look into my passive data and provide you with enriched profiles, including their contact credential, so that when we holistically look into an organization's recruitment funnel, we have your active candidate coming through your Naukri, Monsters, or your careers page. Parallelly, we have the passive candidates also coming through Dotin's platform, so that eventually at the end of the day, what we are enabling is an enriched candidate pool of candidate in your top of the recruitment funnel. And as they eventually gets processes where you get enriched candidates who eventually gets hired and become an employee, followed by we have a real-time screening, because screening is something which takes a toll for a recruiter's life cycle, right? Even if they spend a minute's time understanding a resume, and if we elongate the example of taking 100 resumes, it's like 100 minutes. What we are enabling an organization is a 60-second assessment followed by a resume upload. I can stack rank those individual bases on job in a prioritized manner, and of course with richer insight, so that at the end of the day, for a recruiter, it makes an entire sense showcasing out of the list of 100 prospect candidate, they know which are the top 25 or top 30 candidate they should be actually focusing upon. And the third solution comes, which is extending to screening, is upskilling and engaging. Because once you have trained or once you've identified the right candidate, the responsibility of the organization increases as soon as they gets converted to an employee. And upskilling is something which is pretty much critical for every organization as soon as they onboard a new candidate. And the basic necessity when it comes to upskilling is identifying the gap analysis, and that's what we primarily excel into, followed by identifying in which all aspects you can engage with your employees so that they can be productive better. And all the three offerings is encapsulated under a diversity and inclusion balance, which indirectly help you in terms of enhanced revenue by kind of onboarding quality employees within your organization. And the last aspect which I want to focus upon is the outcomes, the business outcomes which we are able to bring for some of our critical customers. So if I start from the top left, is on the cost per resume acquisition, where we were able to drop the price cost by 90% for our companies like Intridio and CPAD. More contacts when it comes to passive when compared to a LinkedIn recruiter. This is our association through TCS and Capgemini. They were able to see 95% more contacts information being shared through our passive engine compared to LinkedIn, followed by 91% accuracy in the platform predicting who all will be a better fit for that specific job opportunity. And then this platform has been pretty much impressive enough in terms of frontline insurance hiring. So when we engage with companies like Tata, AIA, TVS Credit, or even Bajaj Finserv, they saw a sales improvement by 2.5x in the first quarter itself, because we were able to bring quality candidates in the top of the recruitment funnel, followed by a 23% improvement in talent retention and an overall improvement in diversity and inclusion by 2x. So this is a brief about what we do. Understanding it's all about the platform which we are here for. I would quickly switch towards the demo where I would be showcasing you how in real time I can help you source candidate, followed by screening them in real time and showcasing you how quickly a recruiter or a hiring manager can reach to a decision when it comes to hiring better talent or adding better talent in your recruitment funnel. So Sriram, I'm moving towards the demo aspect of the platform. So once we engage with any potential customer, this is how a UI would look like. Of course, this can be white labeled as per the requirement, but this is how a look and feel would be. From a recruiter standpoint, every individual or every recruiter would receive an email ID and a password to access the platform. Once they do that, once they log in through their relevant credentials, they would be welcomed on a brief dashboard, which showcases all the critical information with respect to the specific login. It starts from the number of candidates in the specific login, followed the number of employees, the number of ideal models being created. I will focus on the ideal model in a minute's time, followed by the saved contacts. The graph showcases the usage in the platform on a weekly basis, followed by the number of assessments being taken so far, with a bifurcation of a resume assessment as well as an image-based, followed by the number of jobs being created with a bifurcation of active and inactive, and then the sourcing credit. So as I move towards the left, so this is what the entire menu looks like. It starts from hire the best fit, and this is the space where a recruiter spends most of their time, followed by saved contacts. So this is the space where any contacts which is being unlocked through the sourcing comes under the saved contact menu, followed by finding your team synergy, because we don't just stop ourselves in showcasing or helping organization to find the right talent. We also help you find a better team synergy within the organization, followed by finding the next rising star. This is like a same set of candidate or an employee can be mapped to a different job role. Precisely the same, finding the next rising star can be effectively used for internal job rotation programs, followed by talent analytics. This goes in depth in terms of understanding your internal employees or any external talent you're about to hire with respect to their resilience and collaboration aspect of it. And then you have the backend aspect, which is on the user management, where you're able to see the entire data or the set of candidates who have gone through the assessment, followed by audit reports and with more actions. So focusing on or primarily attacking on the key critical aspect, which is on hire the best fit. So this is the space where, as I mentioned, a recruiter would be spending most of their time. And this is the same space where you would be able to source candidates as well as screen them, and even kind of identifying the aspect of upskilling them. So as a natural first step, when it comes to engagement, from a recruiter's life cycle, the first key step is to add a job, right? So what we have done is, other than uploading a JD, creating confusions, etc., what we have done is made it in the most simplest way possible. Just copy paste what exactly the job description and the title is. So for this demo purpose, what I'm looking into is a project manager as a job role. I'm taking the description from a website called as Workable. So what I just need to do is copy the entire description. The rest the platform would take care of itself. Click on next. The system prompts to build an ideal profile, allowing to do that and clicking on save. As soon as it completes the processing of understanding what exactly the JD is all about, we have three options to navigate through. One is source talent, second is screen, and followed by a view ideal model. Let us spend a minute or so in terms of identifying view ideal model. The reason is because this becomes the entire premise of scoring the candidate based on the cultural fitment as well as the skill fitment. So let me click on view ideal model. And as soon as I do that, the system creates a spider chart based on the working style of an individual for the project manager as a job role, followed by the learning style or the learnability. And where we're actually coming from is working style is based out of RISEC model, or you can primarily reinfer it as Holland's occupation theory. And what it showcases here is, from a project manager specific job role, an individual has to be enterprising in nature, because technically he is the bridge between the customer and the product team. So he should have those aspects of being energetic, ambitious, and adventurous, followed by he should be also process oriented as well, or a detail oriented individual. That means being conventional, followed by being investigative. That means he should be analytical as well as observant. And the last key aspect is he should be realistic as well. That means a goal oriented individual. So what the ideal model is doing is understanding the JD first and precisely identifying what kind of individual would suit better for this specific opportunity. And of course, the entire platform is integrated over Own It as a solution, or Own It as a platform, which in detail showcases for what all jobs, what all critical aspects is required, both from soft skill as well as hard skills perspective. So we do look into those data as well. But if we have an enriched JD coming from, our dependency to Own It reduces drastically. But looking into the aspect, the working style is the individual should be enterprising, conventional, investigative, and realistic. Let us see what the learnability looks like. So from a project manager perspective, what it showcases is this: the person should be high on intrapersonal, which is absolutely right, because he is the individual, since, as I mentioned, is a bridge between the customer and the product, right? So he is a person who is constantly in touch with people. So you should have those attributes when it comes to interpersonal intelligence, followed by he should be logical, mathematical. That means he should be up in his toes. He should be very much in good towards abstract thinking, etc. Followed by being spatial visual, and then being verbal linguistic. So this is on the learnability side of it, followed by what is the dominant attribute required and the compatibility one. So this is on the ideal model perspective. Now we also look into the hard skills. Now this is all coming from the job description. In terms of both soft and hard skills, like including PMP, problem solving, project documentation, etc. What key feature we also enable here right off the back is a recruiter or a hiring manager can add or delete any skills required, so that they can precisely look into the candidate they want to hunt for eventually. So this is on the ideal model. So as a natural next step, because as we have moved above that, okay, we have created an ideal model. Now we need someone to compare on this ideal model and stack rank them, right? So a natural first step is accessing passive candidates, and that's where it comes under the sourcing tab. And as soon as you click on the sourcing tab, a certain level of automation is already done within the platform. One is, of course, it starts from the skills. So a recruiter doesn't have to add skills one by one manually. The automation is already done in the platform, followed by the selected title as well. Of course, we are not limiting with those titles. A hiring manager can add more to it, but just helping a recruiter so that they can precisely focus or spend much time focusing on the right candidate. The only aspect which we need to add is a geography location. So for this demo, let me look into a Karnataka as an entire state, and keeping the selected title as a project manager and keeping even the skill tags intact. Let me switch on the toggle button, which says only with contacts, because once I switch it on, it will only showcase me those profiles where we have their contact credentials. This could be their email address or a phone number or both. So as I click on search, the system takes like mere close to 5 to 6 seconds to look into the database and provide you with passive candidates. So as soon as you're able to see that the system is able to provide project manager individuals who are for certain profiles, they are being already unlocked. And the best part is we showcase their individual's name followed by their current designation and the company they are working with. And the best part when it comes to Dotin's platform is we also provide their LinkedIn link so that you can revalidate if the individual is kind of good enough to be considered for that specific job role. Followed by, we also showcase the entire skill dictionary. And as soon as you unlock, we are able to provide the contact credential, be it their email or a phone number. And the best part is we do verify their email address as well. So if you look into certain below profiles, we are able to verify individuals' hotmail address or even if their professional email address as well. So this is like bringing you the raw data. Now, over and above is where the beautification of Dotin comes into the picture, because the work is not yet over. It is just now we have identified certain profiles. Over and above, even a recruiter does the same aspect, which is prioritizing them, that, okay, whom should I connect first? So the easiest step to do is bring all this set of individuals under an AI match. So let me quickly bring all this set of individuals under AI match. So once we have added them under the AI match, we can scroll up and click under the tab called as AI match results. And here where the entire magic happens. The system stack rank in this set of talent, this set of profiles, and tell you which all individuals he or she should be connecting with. So what the system predicts is connect with Shami Shetty first, followed by with Hare Krishna, and then with Vinod Banjan, and then with Manjunath. And if we look carefully, we are putting in numbers as well in terms of what is the overall score. This is primarily the overall score based on the JD you guys have uploaded. And then the bifurcation is based on the skill alignment as well as the cultural alignment score. And we also see that one of the profile still need to be unlocked. So let us view what all information we primarily get for Vinod. So we are able to get his email addresses as well, followed by the entire skill dictionary. Now, the best part here when it comes to the passive sourcing is, since we don't want any deviation with respect to the experience for a recruiter, what we have enabled within the platform is they can send mass email to all those prospect candidate from the platform itself. So the system has the ability in terms of adding a recruiter's reply email address, so that if any prospect candidate replies, it automatically reaches to the recruiter, not back to Dotin, followed by they can add their phone number, and then they have the entire flexibility to tweak the subject line followed by the entire email body. And as soon as the process is completed, they can scroll down and send bulk email to those prospect candidate, and then seek understanding and seeking their interest for the specific job opportunity. Having said that, so we don't stop here in terms of doing the data analysis aspect of it. We dig deeper, and let's create a scenario where you may only seek individual with purely based on skill, no focus towards the aspect of cultural fitment, etc. So what we can do is bring the cultural weightage to 1 and remain the skill weightage to 100 and reapply. The entire list gets resorted again purely based on skill fitment now, because the requirement may differ with respect to certain positions, functionalities, etc. So that's the additional benefit which you bring onto the table. Followed by, we also have something with respect to your core workplace values, or you can primarily call it as your own competencies. So we have our own 16 core values, which is based on individuals who are high towards analytical thinking, attention to detail, cooperation, or even people who are high towards dependability, independence, etc. So we have our own core values, because these are certain things which are not very specifically mentioned in the JD, but we look forward for. So you can precisely look for those candidates having those core values. Adding on, the system has the flexibility to look into your competencies and remap it accordingly. So it's a one-time effort, which comes through during the engagement of looking into your own core values and competencies and remapping it accordingly. But this is absolutely doable. Followed by one more aspect which we brought very recently. Again, this is all post-COVID, is something called as work from home, because majority of the organizations were struggling to identify individuals who are resilient or collaborative enough. But of course, Dotin took that challenge, saying that don't ask questions to individuals, because if you start asking questions saying that who all can work virtually or who all cannot, you will precisely get 100% yes as an answer. But through our resume assessment, or through our 60-second assessment, we can precisely identify who all is good working virtually or who all are not. So if we switch on the toggle button, I'm able to identify out of the entire list who all can precisely work virtually. Technically, the answer is none. That means from a recruiter standpoint, if he's aware of which profile or which position he's looking into, he can skip these profiles and primarily hunt for those set of passive candidates who work well with respect to work from home or working virtually. So right off the back itself, we're helping you to take decision basis on certain critical items. So this is on the sourcing, and as rightfully mentioned, we are able to bring the relevant profiles, including their location, their current organization they are working with, followed by their contact credentials, which is an email or a phone, followed by the entire skill dictionary, so that you are able to connect with a different lot of set of individuals altogether. Adding on the benefit which an organization would have targeting passive candidates, because if you look into an entire hireable workforce, only 15 to 20% of them are actively seeking for a job change. And those are the ones who you primarily get through Naukri, Monsters, LinkedIn, or even through your career site. The rest, 75 to 80 are passive in nature. That means they're good for a job change, but they're not actively seeking for one. And the best part is they are not being primarily targeted again by your competition. So if you spend a little time focusing on certain set of passive candidate, they can be a highly qualified talent coming in your recruitment funnel, because at the end of the day, it is going to benefit your organization. You're able to bring out a quality candidate at a much lower cost, because he won't be doing a window shopping basis on the salary aspect of it, and he can be a potential quick closure also, because if he is enticed with the right opportunity, including the right incentivization, which can potentially act as a hook, can be onboarded quickly in your employee workforce. So that's the benefit of passive, which we tell the organization to focus upon. Again, as I mentioned, we are not saying that don't focus on active. Absolutely, you should be doing it. But at the same time, you should have an alternate pipe where a set of passive candidates are also being approached, connected, and targeted, and being brought into the recruitment funnel. So this is precisely on the sourcing aspect of it. Now, I would love to spend a few minutes on screening, and because this is where we would be taking most of our recruiters' transactional activities and automating them to a certain degree. So when you click on screening, we do see no records found, because technically it's a new job role. Now, three aspects or three ways to bring talent under the screening aspect of it. One is through a bulk upload. So the system has a capability to bulk upload resumes in a PDF or a DOC or a DOCX format. So if a recruiter has set of resumes right off the bat, they can upload, and the system would stack rank them based on the job opportunity. Followed by, when we click on add user, now this is the beauty of the platform. The system also look into your internal database. So technically, we are enabling a recruiter to first focus on your own internal repository of data rather than focusing on an outside data, because it is again an additional cost to the organization. So focus on your existing set of data. If you don't find the right fit candidate, then of course you have to move out and look towards Naukri Monsters. But the first step is to look into your current data. If you have any valid candidate coming into, and then try stack ranking them based on the job opportunity, so that in real time, it enables you to take a decision. And for a demo perspective, request you to please don't hold me on the outcome. These are like dummy data which has been created. So I've selected few candidates and I'm mapping them with respect to a project manager as a job role. And in real time, in near real time, we are able to stack rank this candidate basis on cultural alignment and skill alignment, and with respect to an overall score. Now here, where when it comes to screening, the entire magic happens. And this is the same space where I mentioned that we will be bringing critical aspect when it comes to upskilling or engaging with the talent better. So few key critical aspects to call out or to mention here is, One is once you upload the resume, of course, the recruiter doesn't know which set of resumes have been uploaded and what the candidate is all about. No need to skim through the entire resume. Click on no more. The system creates a two-liner synopsis of the entire resume. So again, right off the bat, we are saving time for a recruiter even through skimming through the resume. When it comes to the skill alignment, when they click on the 16%, we have bifurcation based on skills, industries, as well as based on the management level, as well as education levels as well. So this is precisely enabling a recruiter showcasing, okay, what all skills are getting matched, followed by which all industries he has worked with, and does he has a management level experience or not. Now, the beauty here is when it comes to data or looking to analytics is all powers to a recruiter. What we have enabled within the active screening is ability to change the weightages. Because if you look into a scenario where you are hiring freshers, right, you may put higher weightage towards education and less weightage towards skills because these are freshers, right? But when it comes to a lateral hire, the things changes, right? You may have a higher weightage towards skills and lesser weightage towards education. So right off the bat, for each job you create, you can tweak those skill alignment settings as per to your requirement, and the entire outcomes gets reprioritized basis on the weightage. So this is the depth of flexibility what a platform brings onto the table. And of course, it doesn't stop here actually. When you click on the overall score, which is like a 43%, the system precisely gives you recommendation basis on hard skills and soft skills. Is he a good or a satisfactory hire or not? Followed by a candidate resume analysis, and then alignment with respect to the job role as well as the non-alignment. Now this is like a bible for them, because majority of time when you're interviewing a candidate, you have the resume handy, not the JD. But if the with the resume, if you have the report handy, hiring manager exactly knows what to talk to the prospect actually, because he has those gap analysis. He can precisely talk about aspects which is more towards problem solving or towards project documentation, etc., so that the interview is getting more in a more structured manner, because the intent is primarily to hire a quality candidate. Followed by, we have the entire skill attributes about the candidate, followed by the cultural attribute, again basis on the working style and the learning style. And this is where the game gets changed when it comes to Dotin offering. We primarily help you break the ice with the candidate. We tell you in terms of how to email your candidate, how to work with them, and what all best tools may entice them with respect to the job opportunity, followed by the aspect of incentivization. Again, three broad buckets: training, compensation, benefits, and employee engagement. And when it comes to training, what the system says is this particular talent looks for personal growth. And if your HR policies allows it accordingly, it's like a hook for him to onboard him quickly. Again, followed by compensation and benefits, a week off during the end of December, right? Again, because we are looking purely beyond monetary aspect of it, and then followed by team retreats. So if you combine all these three critical information, these are all potential hook to onboard a candidate quickly and make them as an employee. And then moving back, because this is primarily on the profile of the individual, we have the same weightages here also in terms of cultural alignment as well as with respect to skill, followed by the core workplace values. Now things gets deeper again. So if you're looking for gender specific candidates, like I only look for a female candidate for this job opportunity, we do have that provision as well, followed by the experience level filtration, and then a free text search. So if you combine all this critical information, a recruiter would be eventually able to identify that precise candidate he would be potentially targeting. And if we elongate the entire use case, for example, if we look into 100 resumes being uploaded for this job role, the system would tell that which top 15 or a 20 candidate, 20 candidate a recruiter would be actually focusing upon. Yep. So this is primarily the entire walkthrough when it comes to sourcing, screening, and the aspect of identifying the gaps, because the gap identification would move as a thread with respect to upskilling and engaging aspect of it. So that's a brief when it purely focusing on the sourcing and the screening aspect with respect to Dotin's offering. Over to you, Sriram.
Thank you, Arun. That was really comprehensive and insightful. So I wanted to ask you, what is the key unique selling proposition for Dotin?
Absolutely, Sriram. So I would primarily answer it in two parts. One is when you screen candidates, right? The traditional approach has always been asking questions. We are staying away from it. What we are saying is understand the talent first through a psychometric assessment, which only takes 60 seconds. And if a talent is not able to invest 60 seconds, that's a question mark actually. And the best part is it is agnostic to any language. So a same assessment can be used for a CEO or a C-level hiring, and the same assessment can be used for any frontline leveling hiring as well. And the second USP is on when we are targeting passive candidates. Not much of the organization does that because it's a dirty work, but at the end of the day, you primarily reap gold when it comes to dirty work, right? So we help gather all those dirty profiles, cleanse it, and showcase as an outcome to our customers in such a way that it's a pure profile, including including their contact details, which is an email or a phone number.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Arun. And we really look forward to hosting you again at our future events. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Sriram, for the opportunity.